the hustle gonna run. You already know. That money up. It's up there and it's stuck there.
Black and mild, you a genius.
Let's get it the whole year. My money up, my money up, my money up, up, up there. My money up, my money up, my money up, up. I got my run, I got my run. Nigga moving that coke, I got my run, I got my run. Nigga pushing that dope.
We gotta hurry. This nigga might buy a club in the middle of this shit.
Oh shit.
Yo, this BENJIMANZROOM podcast, episode 32, and we here with another special guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Oh man, you already know it's SESS 45, the hustle guard. You heard me, New Orleans OG. Let's get it.
I was just saying that, well, let me start like this. This interview been well, like this is supposed to happen a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Mainly because I give you a lot of credit when people bring you up to me. I give you a lot of credit when I tell my origin story when it comes to why I end up being a known platform and working with kids and just my general trajectory in the culture, in the New Orleans culture, right? And it really kind of started with you. You was one of the people, 10-Wall Buck, super on the promotion end. But I think you was like the person who gave me a footing in the game. And I don't even know if you knew that's what that was. But you do so much. And I lived right around the corner from you at the time. That was my first time ever living in the 7-Wall. So I used to be at the shop because I started selling hats and socks and all this type of stuff.
Right.
And you always did hustle. You was doing stuff with 10-Wall Buck. You was doing stuff with a lot of the artists that we love today that's household names. I watched you kind of give those artists those looks. You know what I'm saying? Especially around holidays. You always had Easter Jam, all these different avenues that let local artists eat out and make a name for themselves. So when I met you, you was doing those type of shows, and just being around you gave me access to a lot of these household names early and fast because I'm getting in these clubs. I'm at all of them, being able to rub shoulders, and that it's almost a priceless thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So the number one thing I think that kind of made you so interesting to me, all right, it's kind of like this. When I see how you worked with all these different artists and I watched their value move, right? But I also watched them feel like you owed them something at times. You owed them more. And it always came into question the value of an artist and the value of art, right? Versus promotion and the people who put you in place. You know what I'm saying? So I think you kind of was my first look at that firsthand. You know what I'm saying? By you working with so many artists and them blowing up and then they coming back, they like, well, I don't want $300 no more. Like, nigga, I'm worth $3,000 a show. You like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Can you explain, like, your entrance into that world and working with those artists?
So, you know, I'm an artist first as well. So, you know, I understand, like, both sides of the coin when it, you know, relates to, like, you know, artists getting paid and a promoter, you know, spending and investing the money, you know, on a show. So I know both sides because I'm a promoter, but I'm an artist first. And so, you know, just one of my things has always been to bring the artists that the people won't see.
Right.
So whoever hot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we booking you. You know, we spending money with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So artists who on a come up, you know, I try to put them, one or two of them in position, you know, as well.
Right.
But majority of the people, if you got a hot record, the streets, playing your record, they calling saying, book this person, we gonna book them. And that's the nature of the business. Like, you're not supposed to stay at $300, $500, even, $1,000, $2,000. You're not supposed to stay at that price. You're supposed to elevate. But the issue is, when you charge $2,000 and the fans is not responding to that dollar amount, so that's where the value, got to make sense at. You know what I'm saying? And home always is harder than out of town. So you might get 3,500, 2,500, 5,000 outside of New Orleans.
Right.
But in New Orleans, like, we booking you 10 times a month. So, like, I can see you over there, I can see you over there, I can see you over there. Right. So the value is not exactly the same as a place where, they only gonna book you one time in a quarter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So, the value different. You could charge a lot more because you're not gonna be there.
Right.
And so it's just communication, it's just understanding. And when you book somebody a lot, you should develop a relationship to where, sometimes you gotta, give a deal, and sometimes you just gotta stand on your price. But I always, respect the artist, for their price. But as a businessman, I gotta be like, hey, can you do it for this? If they say no, it's cool. Either I believe we gonna win and I do it. If I don't think we gonna win with that particular artist, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna just pass on this one. I'll holler back maybe, in the future when we got more time or something like that.
I've seen shows where you book certain artists that had like just a buzzing song that probably wasn't even from here, and the response not be there. And then we'll go to have like a little trickle in. Then you'll book a Reedy or Viney or, you know what I'm saying, somebody like that, 10 Walk Buck, and you'll put them together on like a holiday ticket, and like it'd be so packed. You know what I'm saying? So I seen you go through those growing pains sometime of, well, all right, I'm gonna grab this as an artist, but they don't really respond to it. The promoter have to take the loss on all of that?
Yeah, definitely. So as a promoter, you take the win, of the loss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So some of these artists, they be popular, mainstream, but New Orleans is a different monster, when it comes to music, as far as the culture, just being in the city. Like, it's hard for anybody who doing 9 bounce to make a name for themselves in this city. A lot of DJs in this city, they use bounce as a crutch.
Right.
So when, you could play a lot of records, even early on in the night, you could play a lot of different records. A lot of the DJs gonna put a bounce Lazy Boy on or something like that, and they don't really, break records. So bounce is a little more easier, to break. But these other artists, they might be popping in the country towns, but when they get here, by New Orleans not having a lot of DJs who could stand on music and break music and play whatever, them artists don't get no play here. So when you trying to bring somebody who popping elsewhere, and then when they come here, not too many people are they fans because the DJ is scared to lose the dance floor. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing in New Orleans that the DJs say is like, if I play that song and it lose my crowd, I'm gonna lose money. The club owner gonna look at me crazy, which is true as well. But some people, you got to figure out a way to break music. But just from my history, like in this city in New Orleans, like everybody like to go out in the holidays. So once I saw that pattern, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, it don't really matter. If it's a holiday, New Orleans won't dress up, they won't go out. And so, you could put a little bounce collection of artists together, you know, call it the whatever holiday shakedown,
Right.
and you know they packing it out, and
Right.
you know it's always contingent on you know them artists having some new music or whatever,
And you
and
able
most
to
of them do
push,
it, you know.
and you able to push whatever hip hop artists you have on that too, right?
When you say a hip hop artist, what you mean?
Because I seen I seen you push yourself through that.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna hear my song.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. You know,
you go to Juvie Tuesday, whatever Juvie single is,
Yeah.
that one with Birdman.
Facts. He
By
playing
the
it.
time you go to Juvie Tuesday, every Tuesday, you know that song. Cause he gonna run that bitch 3 or 4 times right before the shakedown start, the ass start moving and all that. Or you gonna hear my song 6 times first. And by the 5th time, everybody's singing it. People who didn't know it,
Yeah.
singing it because he's singing it. It's like it's gonna get stuck in your memory. So you gonna always remember that.
That's definitely the perks of being, you know, a promoter, you know, a industry influencer, you know, a club owner, just dealing with events. If you dealing with other artists and you trying to promote records, you know, if you throwing the events, you pay the DJ, so you know you got influence to be like, hey, play this right now, play this right before the show, you know. So yeah, I definitely utilize that piece there.
Hey, tell me this. I'm gonna bring up this person. Tell me what this person means to you.
All right.
Wild Wayne.
Oh man, Wild Wayne an icon to me, man. That's, you know, he one of the GOATs, one of the living legends in this city. He don't get enough flowers, you know what I'm saying? So like Wild Wayne is that dude, like just growing up in this city, you know, before I even got into music, you know what I'm saying? He was just one of them figures you just heard on the radio all the time. And when I did get into music, like, you know, like I just like put it as a plan, like to stalk Q93 to make a name for myself. Like that's how I really, you know, got a name for myself, just going to the different live remotes where they'll be at, all the different clubs and stuff like that. So, you know, I used to listen to the radio and hear them let people talk and shit. I'm like, man, I'm about to go over there by Caesars or whatever and be like, you know, I'm one of the people that get to say something. And I was like, yeah, you know, this SESS 45 is going down over here. And like I just did that so many times, they would start calling me, you know, to do it too, because I just was going to everywhere where they was at. Because I knew if I say my name enough, a lot of people will hear it. And then the music, I'm pumping the music too. So as the music growing and people hearing it, you know, that became just a strategy that worked. But as far as, you know, Wild Wayne, like, you know, he a giant, you know, in this city and worldwide, and just watching them over the years do so much, you know, for the culture, just have integrity as a human being. You know, he got to inform the whole city of everything that's going on as it relates to, you know, weather, you know, hurricanes and, you know, sports, world news, politics. So just watching him, you know, be an intelligent person on the radio and have so much information in so many different fields. Right. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you know, talking about crime, he could stand on, you know, any topic, just, you know, listen to the radio and deal with any person that came to the radio station, whether it was a politician, an actor. You know, he just a class A person in his field and what he do. And then when me and him gelled and we started doing a summer camp, you know what I'm saying?
So that's how y'all end up building a relationship through the summer camp?
Well, no, we built relationship before that through the music. And like I was telling you, you know,
how much different is he? Because we all grew up on the voice of Wild Wayne.
Yeah.
Right? How much different was he compared to you? Because you was a fan first, right? Like you knew him on the radio first.
Yeah.
And then you got to know him. How much different is he of a person? Like compared to the radio personality? Is that just a personality? Or is that...
Nah, so like Wild Wayne as a person, you know, he pretty much the same on air and off air, you know what I'm saying? But you know, like, you know, we just talk as a artist who trying to get on, and he, you know, gave me gems, you know what I'm saying? And I would, you know, keep coming back, and then growing into a CEO of a record label, Nothing But Fire Records. Now I'm in a business form and I'm dropping records and we, advertising through the radio station and stuff like that. And I'm growing and I'm, asking for advice and stuff like that. And, they would do stuff with BET every year for the BET Awards. So, I'm flying to LA for the BET Awards, you know what I'm saying? And then, I just had an idea about a music conference from going to so many different conferences. I'm like, I go to the Ozone Conference and the Core DJ Conference, TJ's DJs Conference. And I'm like, man, we need a conference in our city. So I talked to Wayne about it, and we actually collab, and that's how Industry Influence, came about.
Right.
But, further down the line, I had worked for this company. They got a grant, using me, you know what I'm saying, for the Kellogg's Foundation. And we got some money for a summer camp or whatever, you heard me? And Wayne had just, finished his summer camp because of Katrina.
Right.
Katrina stopped his summer camp. He was doing it in the East for a long time. And then Hurricane Katrina disrupted it. And then so when I had got some funds, I'm like, man, let me pick your brain and see how we could do this. And he like, hey, I got the blueprint already. You know what I'm saying? We could do it together. And I'm like, let's do it.
Right.
And so, we did. And we did that for years. And, we just got a great relationship, just doing good business and, keeping it real with each other. And my sons go to his kids' parties and, vice versa and stuff like that.
They all
so
really
we just,
turn into family.
Yeah, we just developed,
right.
Just a great relationship.
Cause I ain't gonna lie. So this way it get a little spicy, all right. But I always did wonder, like that was always a conundrum to me, like whether the successful 5 Wild Wayne thing become a thing, because I seen a lot of artists start to say like, well, yeah, you gotta go through Wild Wayne, and you start hearing like even I think Skip was even saying like, well, Wild Wayne and Angela, they the reason they fucking up the music, and you know what I'm saying, and you regular artists can't get played, and like it's hard, you know what I'm saying, like you started hearing all these. And the voices started getting louder and louder. At one point in time, it was like directly pointed at Uptown Angela, and it became like a thing online. But I seen you guys end up coming together and I don't think y'all get a lot of credit for that. And you actually started hearing the sound of New Orleans on the radio after that. But I don't think y'all two get the credit for that. But you became almost like a door, because you was already working with a lot of unsigned artists and shit like that. But you started hearing artists more on the radio after that. And I don't think once that transition happened, nobody really said much. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like y'all two had something to do with that. But because the cry in the room was getting louder and louder and louder. Because as a city, we used to hear New Orleans on the radio. We grew up listening to Partners in Crime on the radio and UNLV on the radio and BG on the radio. Like, and they had Mystical. Like niggas used to do the record this shit and stop and write the shit down and play it back and write the fucking words down to Mystical, because the nigga was rapping so fast and he didn't have a deal yet. And he was on the radio. So I think y'all kind of, the combination of the two, strangely brought the voice back to the radio. Because you go to other cities, you don't really have that at all.
Yeah, so honestly, me and Wayne had, collectively nothing to do with, the voice. If you say the voice coming back or whatever, Wayne works for, Q93.
Right.
So he not a person that can, play a record. He is on that personality, and iHeartMedia, which is the company that owns and operates Q93. They have a program list of records that they can play, just like any station that iHeart Media runs.
Right.
And there's something called a program director. So that's a person that works for the radio station that also programs a few records. You know what I'm saying? But
so that person has the power to put.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, iHeartMedia controls what get played, and so we in the music business, and so like that's what people have to understand. The business part of this industry. You know what I'm saying? So like what I understand,
because they got the same dilemma of the DJ in the club in New Orleans, right? Well, fuck, they not trying to start playing some shit where they gonna lose any amount of customers.
So this what I learned, and this is real important for everybody to understand. So what I learned that in radio, like they trying to sell advertising. They trying to sell ads. So it's not necessarily about the music per se, because they don't care. Like, their job is not to make you the next superstar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Radio job is to keep you listening until the next commercial set.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they play something on the radio and you turn the station, you go do something else, then they know, like, that song is not what's happening.
Right.
Like, so they trying to keep you from, 3:15, listening all the way to 4:45, 3:45 when them next commercials play.
Right.
And so that's the business, is like, hey, is this song strong enough to keep the listeners listening? Which, radio is like predominantly geared and catered to women. So, it's about those female listeners. So if you playing different records with the switch and the glizzy and, all this here, like, them women not about to listen to that. They about to turn the station. And so it's all about making sure you got the right music and you go about the right ways to conduct your business in a professional business manner.
I could see that. But I just remember a lot of times where it was just becoming like stuck with the artist. You know what I'm saying?
I think it still should be like uproar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, of course, Q93 don't play enough local music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was up to me, we'll play damn near all, local music if I had the power to do it. So every time I hear that, you know what I'm saying, is everything is true. All the gripes is true. And I'm on the side of the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they should have, more music. But as a businessman, I know why they don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference of when you understand the business. In the same way we talked about with the artists who, want more money for shows, either the artists that want their music played in the clubs, but the DJ is not playing their music. It's like, hey, you need to get your song more popular before I could play it in the club and risk losing my crowd. Right. But then it's like, well, how do I do that? Because I keep coming to y'all to play my song and y'all not playing it. And they like, well, get it on the radio, get it in other spots. But when I try to go do it, y'all not playing the record. Right. But you just got to figure it out. You got to find a way to get your record played, get your record hot, get 10 girls to go ask the DJ to play the song. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure it out because...
You think bounce... I don't mean to cut you off, but you think bounce artists have it easier than...
Yes, definitely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Why though? Why?
Because it's a culture now. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got about 35 years of bounce music, in this city, playing. So this cross generation. So, like people, grandmothers was listening to bounce when they was young.
Right.
Their mamas was listening to bounce. Now they listen to bounce. And so even though it changed and transitioned, like the hottest, most vulgar song, like B.O.G. Viney, this Dick Big.
Right.
You hear me?
Right.
Like your grandma singing that in Silk is the oldest, whatever the club where the oldest people be at. You know what I'm saying?
Make it hot.
So and that come from a DJ.
Right.
Like, the DJs know hey, when I DJ'd at the block party over there, when I DJ'd over here at Caesars, I heard, Captain Charles play this or whatever. And so they gonna play that because it's a crutch. It's like, okay, ain't nobody dancing in here, ain't nobody doing nothing. What I could put on to make everybody react. Everybody get you some, and then they, cutting up.
But you know what? I'm gonna say, I don't think it's a crutch though.
It's a crutch, brother. What I mean by crutch, I'm gonna tell you what I mean by crutch. So, as a DJ, you could take a person all around the world on a whole roller coaster ride in the club, from getting ready to cry, getting ready to dance, nostalgia. You could go back in the days. You can go all different kind of sets. You can go R&B, reggae. You can do a whole lot.
Right.
But the DJs, they got a gangster set with Lil Wayne and Preach and, Scheming, Rick Ross.
Right.
Then they play some bounce. They play some bounce.
Right.
After that, they gonna go back to, like you say, a Meek Mill, something else, and then they gonna play some bounce.
Right.
And then they might play a couple of R&B records or whatever, you heard me, whatever hot at the time right now, Rob 09, whoever hot right now, Kodak Black, play some more bounce.
Right.
But they got all kind of stuff you could have played besides bounce. You know what I'm saying? And so just imagine, just go to the clubs and you're gonna figure it out. So there's a way to play other music. I'm talking about even the stuff that's hot around the world don't get a chance here because the DJs don't play it because they scared they're going to lose the crowd and people going to walk off the dance floor. And so nobody could get a turn except the bounce people.
Right.
So if you got a hot bounce song, they'll play it without even listening to it.
But see, I wanted to say this though. Bounce music have a way because of the times that we attack. Like, it's not just it gets so much deeper than just 35-year culture. Like, it get deeper than that on a psychological level, right? Because you could listen to Shorty, like one of her like more famous songs that she did live in the club. They have people who was there when they recorded that shit. They're in the club, shit, like live shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of our dopest shit was like get the gat, live shit. Almost like on a band level where, nigga, I was in the club that night. Then the nigga who heard it for the first time in the club gonna get another attachment to that music, which is almost like the Frankie Beverly and Mays thing, where like they could sing that song a million times to us. You know what I'm saying? Because of where I was, where I heard it, what I was doing. It was always a good time when I heard it, and I could always relate it back to good times. You know what I'm saying? Whereas for you remember when Throw the Sets Up came out, you couldn't play that in some clubs. Like, niggas' clubs was getting fucked up from Throw Your Sets Up. Nigga, like, fuck that other nigga, boy. It was a time you couldn't play that. Like, it was just, it carried such an energy that niggas remember tearing clubs up, beating people up, fighting, you know what I'm saying? Now not so much, you know what I'm saying, but some people would say the NBA young boys and the Nino Calvins carry that type of energy, but they can make a nigga just be like, man, I'm about to kill him. Like, I done heard enough Nino Calvin and Young Boy where I'm just like, these niggas done said this shit so much, nigga better not fuck with me. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna shoot you. Well, the bounce music have that, I feel like it have that opposite polarizing feeling where you always remember the good time. Like, somebody was dancing, they happy. They could be depressed. They could be going back to the worst home conditions in the world. But when they get outside, they get to shake that ass. They get to see some girls shake and get your little drink. You forget about all your problems. So I think that attachment is so deep that if I was a DJ, I would lean in on that bitch too, tell you the truth. Like, I'm getting paid by the hour, getting paid for 3 hours. These fucking songs 7 minutes and 8 minutes long. I'm gonna play that shit too. You dig? Like, but I can see where you could say it is a crush, but I just feel like the music itself, those artists actually go out and work those records and the ones who did it in the past, read it and came. I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I know.
I'm preaching to the choir. You didn't see them all. You didn't see them all go out and work they ticket until it checked off as something good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but so I know the difference between like just say like the rappers, the hip hop side of New Orleans, they just not as aggressive as like some of these bounce people.
Right.
But then the audience don't give them a chance.
They don't.
So I think that's the thing that bounce do. Like they'll give you a chance with bounce, and they'll let you, say whatever it is you saying. But as soon as you come, trying to rapping, they don't got no toleration for that.
Right.
And so I just say is a culture thing with the bounce with women and DJs, of course, because a child could be making one and they got a part in the DJ playing bounce and the mama letting the 1-year-old shake, a 2-year-old shake. So and they do that culturally, in damn near 80% of the households, and so these girls and
you think that's a bad
kids,
thing?
yeah, it's definitely a bad thing.
And all right, now that I got you to say it's a bad thing,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
All right, if you look culturally, India, fucking DC, fucking Africa, fucking anywhere you see what they call it, indigenous black people, you gonna see some type of ass shaking. I don't know why.
Are you saying in all of these indigenous cultures you seeing 1- and 2-year-olds shake their ass?
Yeah.
I doubt it. I don't know.
Man,
I
you seen the
disagree.
fucking Africans? If a 26-year-old woman jump off a roof on a man laying on the ground with his pelvis up, poked out, and she been doing that shit for a long time, dog.
26 and
no, what I'm saying is, by the time you get from jumping off a roof to doing it, like nigga, you was doing that. That's just like second lining. Like listen, the best second line niggas been doing that shit since they was children.
So this the difference is, second lining is a dance culture and is not, ass shaking or whatever. You know what I'm saying is, but let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
So when you have black males in the household, it's certain things that you just not gonna tolerate, and you're not gonna let your daughter, do this. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the culture, the reason I say it's bad is because this is like some single parent, stuff where women is letting their daughters do this, and it's going against what the males, want for their child. Not saying that males don't let they daughters do it, because they do have household where the men think is cute, they ain't tripping, or they they henpeck, they let the woman kind of run the relationship, so they gonna let they child do that. So what I'm saying is like if any of those indigenous countries, cultures, they have like a strong family oriented household, I don't believe they just got a bunch of they letting their girls shake like that or whatever. That, that's just my opinion. I think it's a family thing.
I see it in well, it is, but I see it a lot in like the DC culture. They have like a go-go. You know what I'm saying? So
this the thing, like if you like my daughter been in dance, majority of her life. But she did like dance at school, at classes. Like we paid for her to go to this dance thing where she learned ballet, hip hop dance, just all different kind of dance. Like ass shaking is not like a phenomenon. I don't really know what to say. It's like second lining. Yeah. So it's a difference. So second lining and ballet and dancing, like all that stuff is geared to learn a skill to be able to get paid to do this as a profession. So, you know, girls just shaking their ass, you know what I'm saying?
You ever say, look, I'm just playing devil's advocate, really.
Cool
you know what I'm saying? I'm playing devil's advocate.
Cool
but only because I see the pros and cons in it, but I just understand that like we came from a masculine world. We came from a very, very masculine world. I just feel like we seen the feminine side of that come out through bounce music, especially because, like you say, we've been doing this music for 35 years. Within the last 10 years, it been catching on. It been catching wildfires in different areas of the world. I can't even say the country, the world. That like, damn, like that's they still on Magnolia Shorty old shit.
So you got to realize music, you know, it travels slow,
right?
But like the world promotes sexuality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody knows sex sells, you know what I'm saying? In males, you know, we're a visual creature. So, you know, we love, you know, fine women. We love seeing, you know, ass shaking and all that. And so that's why it's like we condone it as far as, you know, when a girl's dancing in the club. Like, that's what we want to see because, you know, it's some low vibration stuff. I'm going to say that too.
Right.
But it's like, you know, everybody thinking with their dick. So, you know, girls shaking, you know, we won't naturally smash. So the more girls shaking, we with it. You know what I'm saying? So in the club, we you know, we gonna go for as much bounce as possible.
Right.
But when you go to other cities, you hear damn near zero bounce. And people have a great time. So that's why I say, you know, DJs use bounce as a crutch because you go to Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, New York, everywhere, you know, they may have a small bounce set with, you know, 2 or 3 records or whatever, but everybody partying, everybody enjoying the club atmosphere, everybody dancing and stuff like that. Right. But this city, they been so programmed to just hear G5, you know, sitting on the runway every week, you know what I'm saying? And all the bounce is like, well, it's just the program. We've been programmed to just hit these records, listen to this bounce, drink some liquor, eat some food, go home.
Almost like Clone Tyrone.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny. All right, this is something I want to ask you too, bro. And this is actually what I attended starting out with, and I just got on a tangent on the other end. But SESS 45 is a person who, like I said, the people who close to him might know like a lot about him. But people that's just in and out the street, in and out the club, you just seem to be a person that was always there. Like, but where you from?
I'm from the Desire,
Desire Project. How was that? How was it growing up? You in the Desire around your time?
Desire was fun, you know, a fun project. You know, we growed up real poor. You know what I'm saying? Not poor, we was poor.
Right.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But it was community. You know, it was community oriented. You know, like my daddy. You know, my grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? You know, my daddy was a player. He had like 3, 4 women.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And we knew all my brothers and sisters, we know all each other. They still in the coat over there. They in the coat over there. You know, we going over there. We going by my grandma. They got, you know, the candy lady, all that. We flipping on the mattresses and stuff in the project. So it was fun, big pull, but it was also tough because you growing up in New Orleans when it's extreme poverty. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no cameras. There ain't no Instagram. There ain't no rapping and stunting like you, living like you not, or whatever. And, you know, the people, you know, in a project, like we help each other. You know, we all standing in line getting commodity cheese and, you know, the free cereal and powdered milk. Right. You know, so everybody, you know, who need this food stamps, books, and we going to break food stamps to get the change because you could get money back then, all food stamps when you go to the store and all that. So we going crack them food stamps and,
Right.
you know, get some money. You know, you catching the bus to school. But this is fun before drugs and, you know, killing and, you know, all that. So this just young, you know, young SESS in a project with, you know, everybody. And then like at a certain age, you know, your parent, your mama get a project. And so they gave my mama a project and she got a project in Florida. So we went across the tracks in the Florida project. And then, you know, I grew up some more years in the Florida project, which majority of the women, the 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, when they got to that age, from the Desire, they got a project in the Florida. And so the Florida is really the Desire, you know, over here. You see what I'm saying? But they got people who strictly, you know, Florida too. So I don't want to get that twisted.
But in emergence of it, because Desire was the biggest project in the city, right?
In the world.
In the world. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So this project actually had an overflow, and that overflow was like y'all relatives and stuff that just got another project at the new site at the time.
Well, it just was like a
because
coming of age
because
thing,
I always
you know
like by me being over Sampson Park, I get all the Night Wall stories, right, from all the OGs.
Yeah.
And I think they were saying that the Florida project was the white project.
Yeah. Well, no, they had the white side and the black side.
All right. So they had the white side and black side. All right.
It was segregated.
But the Desire wasn't like that?
Desire was black, bigoted, black.
All right.
Black, you know, so yeah.
Right.
But, which I think all the projects might have been white damn near at first. And then, you know,
Except the
black people come up in them joints. But yeah, they had the black side and the white side in the Florida. And that's how we'll know where you live at. Like, you're like, yeah, I live on the white side. You know, I live on the black side, so we know where to go you know, meet you or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
I'm in the front of the project or the back of the project, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
So at what point in time did things change from being fun?
Really, you know, when you get old enough to see your parents struggling and you see, you know, I had enough of this, you know, egg and rice, and you trying to take measures in your own hands to assist, you know, your family, at least far as me, you know, like my single parent household, my mama working, you know, overnight, all kind of stuff. And I got 2 little brothers, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, me, I'm just like I'm tired of wearing these, you know, raggedy joints. And, you know, I'm saying my little brothers come up and I just know they got to have something better, you know, than this. And then when you jump off the porch and you get in the streets and you see, okay, you could make some money and help, you know, your mom out, help your family out. And then, you know, I guess it's, you know, jealousy or whatever it is. And it's just the risk of the game. Right. So that's the part where, you know, it begins to be not fun because you see the reality of life when somebody was here and then they dead. Right. You know what I'm saying? They no longer alive, and the consequences of the game, you know what I'm saying? Going to jail and your family don't have the funds to, you know, bail you out, get a lawyer, you know, put money on your books like talking about it or whatever, to accepting phone calls and stuff like that. So when you see, you know, the reality of life, you know, as a young black male just growing up in this city, and, you know, a lot of time, like in that era, you know, the police was super brutal. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's when police, they ain't give a fuck. Like, you know, soon as you walk up, they throwing you on a car, and, you know, it was like a lot of police brutality. Right. So as a black male, it's like everything against you.
I heard a story about the Nine Wall, about the Desire, that, like, once all the black people got in the project, like in different projects and shit, all uptown and everything, they said that they ain't have all them guns. I heard that the train broke down in the Desire, or used to stop in the Desire by Louisa, I guess, and them niggas started breaking in the fucking trains, and they had nothing but guns.
Well, they used to break in the trains to get everything. So it was.
But these have guns in the trains too.
Sometimes you got military.
Right, that's crazy. But they said that they said that trickled down from the Desire having all the guns and selling them to other areas in the project because them with the train, kind of like the Tin Wall got their train that come through. And Monster used to tell me stories about Christmas having 300 baby doll fucking sets and all type of shit from them just hitting the train from different shit.
Yeah,
but I heard the real gunfire side came from the Desire. That's what I heard from some of the older cats.
You know, I just know like people hit the trains
right
regularly, but it
but,
wasn't.
But you're saying they used to have guns on that shit. That shit crazy.
Well, they had everything.
Military
you know
shit.
What I'm saying?
Right.
But like the trains go through all the wards.
But if you think about it, that shit could have been a whole setup for us. You got the only black project. You can bring some fucking military guns through this bitch. Boy, I know them niggas had because when I listen to all these stories, it be like, boy, you couldn't walk down that street. You used to walk down that street, somebody gonna rob you. Might get robbed.
It depends on who you are.
Right.
Because we used to walk down that street.
Right.
At random, you heard, before the morning,
right.
You know, it's pitch black outside, but you know what I'm saying, it's just depends on who you are, you know what I'm saying? They'll test you if you know you look like food, you know what I'm saying? You look like a meal, you know, they won't eat.
Right. So all right. So when did you move out of the Desire?
When my mama got a project in Florida.
So then you moved to Florida.
Yeah, so moved into Florida.
How that was?
That was fun, man. The Florida was fun too. You know what I'm saying? Like just growing up, you know, in a project. Everybody damn near, like I said, from the Florida. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Desire in the Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like Ninth Wall Jug, fucking Merle, like all us. Just just grew up together. You know what I'm saying? And then I actually moved uptown, you know what I'm saying? So I think I moved in the 7th Wall. I used to live in around Polga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tonti, all that. I think that's one of the things that like separate me from a lot of downtown people is that my mama moved around. My grandmother, one of my grandmothers moved uptown. I went live with her and went to school uptown at Green, and I just got to see a lot of different stuff that some downtown dudes didn't, because some people from across the canal, they didn't really go on the other side of the canal, or some downtown people didn't go uptown. It's like some uptown people didn't come downtown, but like I moved all around. And then when I started my clothing line with my partner, LOG, that soccer balling, like we used to go sell clothes in every hood. So we in the Callio, we in the St. Thomas, we in the Magnolia, we in the Melv, we in every project in the city. We going where the money at, you know what I'm saying? And so like I never cared about like you ain't supposed to be here, you don't belong here, you gotta have a pass or whatever. None of I never cared about none of that. I just gave respect, demanded respect, and went and got my money, and
You think you hustling kind of made that happen? Because you gotta think about it, like most hustlers be respected in a lot of hoods because they always got something to sell. You know what I'm saying? So like, ain't nobody like, what are you doing around here? Because this nigga always gonna be everywhere because this nigga hustle.
Well, I think it's a certain attitude that a alpha male, look and have.
Right.
And it's like if you go somewhere and you kind of timid, we could see it. We could smell it like the shark smell blood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you go somewhere like you belong and, you know what I'm saying, not being cocky or arrogant or trying to be loud and do too much, you just like, I'm here, for a reason. But hustling and knowing people in these areas, already, that definitely, help, as well. You know what I'm saying? But like I ain't gotta know nobody, but my job is to, sell this product, sell this, clothes, shirts or whatever if I want to eat. So I don't care who you got to get new customers. So I don't care who you is. Like you, when you come around with the socks and everything, I'm supporting black owned, so I don't care. I'm just spending money.
Right. Tell me this. All right. We had my first real run in with you like in the club world, right? I told you I said, man, I said, SESS, I want to get these tickets, right? He said, all right, they $15. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get them. I ain't get it, right? So Mardi Gras night, right? I get to the door, and he said, $45. I was like, $45, like $45. I'm like, well, what the fuck, you did? How is that? All right. Because you a businessman, right? So Mardi Gras night, like how did you have to develop that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas will be like, man, look, I'm you. Man, come on, brother.
Definitely.
How long did it take for you to develop that being in the? Cause I know it was a time where motherfuckers, you know what they say, you let a nigga slide, they go ice skate. Yeah. I know. So how long did it take for you to develop to be able to be like, you know?
So it took probably about 2 or 3 years for me to take L after L after L after L to realize, like, you got to get your money, right?
Right.
And what happened is, like I was promoting under the Nothing But Fire Records, banner, and my flyers that say Nothing But Fire Records presents, and a nigga just put me on game, right? It's like, hey, you letting all these people in, your partners in, everybody, getting in free. And at the end of the night, you still got to pay the security and the DJ and the artist and the building and all that stuff. And you just keep coming up in the red and do like, hey, see that Nothing But Fire Records presents? When you don't get your money, that presents turn into present for the other people, though. Not you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so once I took enough L's, I'm like, well, no, I got to get my money now. And I can't give a fuck how somebody else feel, because I'm taking money out my pocket, out my kids' mouth, when I let you get in for free and you get to enjoy the night and you spend money with the bar that I don't got nothing to do with, but you, my partner, and we growed up in the project or the streets or whatever,
Right.
and you don't want to spend it with me because it's me and you know me or whatever, you heard me, but you'll go spend it at the bar.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you trying to support me, you got to spend money with me financially too. You got to support me financially.
Right.
And so I just took enough L's to where at a certain time, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If you got a problem with me because you come into my event where I spent money to book this artist here, you won't see that artist, but because it's me, you don't want to pay. But if you go to all these other venues and you don't know the promoter or whoever throwing the show, you just go pay because you want to go see the artist. So, like, I just don't, I stopped giving a fuck about if somebody felt like, well, I ain't fucking with you because you ain't let me in free. So, all right, cool. Well, fuck it. If that's what's stopping you, from fucking with me because I ain't let you in, I could live with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, all right. And look, so within that, I'm learning, right? I'm like, all right, yeah, the ticket was $15. You bought the ticket at the door, was bitch popping. You gonna pay more, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going through all these different fixtures of the game because I'm selling shit. You dig? And like I'm giving product to different artists, and they putting it on their Instagram and the shit getting popping. Super was at her. She dumping my socks out on her couch. She got 500,000 followers. She, you know what I'm saying, flooding me out with followers and customers, and it just put me on to it turned me on to a different part of the whole market of entertainment and clubs and all that type of stuff. Like it really, it turned me up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, all right, this money could be instant. It did, but you could have a product nobody want. You did. Like, I didn't have products nobody didn't want.
Right.
But I didn't have products that really boom. You know what I mean? I was the missile really shooting the launcher, like making that shit boom, and the shit was just booming. You know what I'm saying? So just talking to you, you get a sense of the artist side, the promoter side, and who you are. Because I never knew, like, I knew you was from the Desire and everything, but the Desire got so much with it. Like, there's a long history, so I didn't know what part you actually came in at. Because I'm, like I said, I'm at Samson Park now, so I'm getting all the Night Wall stories and legends and all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you view the game now being so far down the line, and how you viewing it compared to how you was when you said fresh?
Which particular game?
The promotion game.
Promotion. So
because you became a giant in promotion.
Yeah. So just another thing on the 15, in advance, and the 30, 40, whatever at the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I learned to give people an incentive to get the tickets cheaper earlier, and at the door make them pay more.
Right.
And so in the future, if hey, if I get this advance ticket and we sell a bunch of them, you know what I'm saying, it get more people in the building, right, because they got a discount. You know what I'm saying? So if I sell 200, pre-sales, like we know this bitch gonna pop,
right,
because we already did numbers, in advance, and right, so it's like, they got the benefit of getting that thing cheaper. So, next time when you come, nigga tell you 45, you're going to get the, the advance ticket. So that was just the logic, behind that, buy them, early and get them a little cheaper. But, the game right now, is real different because things shift. So you got like pre-COVID, how things operated. You got like right after COVID, how stuff operated. You got post-COVID, you know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of younger promoters, in the game right now.
Right.
But, promotion in terms of just the whole entertainment side, right? So, because I promote music, I promote venues, I promote businesses, people pay me to, promote. So people pay me to promote their business, people pay me just to post stuff or whatever. And, you got to get in the public eye, you know what I'm saying? So I have a whole agency where we do television, we could put you on billboards, we could put you on radio, different markets, cable, you know what I'm saying? Satellite radio, it don't even matter, you know what I'm saying? Social media, whatever it is you trying to market, we could put it, in the public eye. You just got to have a budget, you got to have money to do that. Right. But the game for is like club life and stuff like that is about who got the wave, who got the motion right now. You know what I'm saying? Who the people, rock with, who they trust, you know what I'm saying? Who throw the best parties and who throw the best shows, and people gonna continue to go rock with the people who they rock with.
Who is that person right now? If you had to name one that, or is there a person right now? You didn't see them all come and go.
Like, as far as what?
As like if you had to book a show right now, right? And you say, all right, I'm gonna spend XYZ, and I know for a fact I'm gonna make XYZ. What show would that be right now with the relevant artists you see?
Far as nationally?
No, we're talking locally.
Locally. So locally, you can't lose with Ride 49. You can't lose with YD the Illest. I don't think you could lose with Super Bad. That's like, I say like the top 3, you know what I'm saying, where, you put them on a flyer, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go or whatever, everybody else is, is subjective.
And 2 of those artists you named not even bounce artists.
Correct.
Right.
So that's the progression, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they all, got it out the mud and got the fans, and that's what count. Like I said, like if you could get the fans, I'm gonna spend a check with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody ever did more shows than me in this city in no era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been throwing shows for a super long time. I done booked so many artists, paid so many DJs, paid so many security guards. Like, I don't think they got a person in this city, paid more people than SESS 45.
Wow.
Far as, venues, West Bank, East Bank, Kenner, LaPlace, Slidell, it don't matter. I go all around the world, from comedy, R&B, hip-hop, my track record, is superb as far as, the things I do and the money that I spent with people, you know what I'm saying? Because I make sure I pay, you know what I'm saying? I make sure, if you hot now, if you up and coming, you got to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if they won't see you, you know what I'm saying? We paying.
Tell me this, just to close out. All right. You been in the public eye for so long, right? You hear positive, you hear negative. You don't have to name the negative thing you heard, but can you speak on the most negative thing you might have heard about yourself that you felt like it just wasn't true?
So I think I get a lot of like spite from people who never did business with me because they say my price too high, and then they tell they people, like, nah, I don't fuck with him because his price too high or whatever reason it is, right?
Right.
And the people who they don't even see for themselves, you know what I'm saying? They just listen to their people, and they miss their blessing in a sense because the people who do spend the money, they get the results.
Right.
And so, one of the things, that, I just hear is like, what I'm saying, I don't fuck with them because, but they don't know why. Like if somebody tell them like, nah, I don't fuck with them, they be like, well, why? They don't have an answer. Right. Why? But what it really be is like they called for something and I gave them a price and they couldn't afford it. And I was like, cool. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go to them. They called me. Right. And, they couldn't afford it. It's just like Blue Magic or whatever you want to use. Like I stand on quality. I stand on, the product. And if you can't afford it, that's unfortunate for you. Right. But the people who could afford it, they love the results. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but there's nothing that somebody could say like I took money from somebody or I scammed somebody. Like I don't got to deal with none of that kind of stuff because, this New Orleans, and like I said before, like, New Orleans don't play, about their bread. Right. You know what I'm saying? But people listen to their people, and they gotta, you gotta see for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And I was happy to have, I knew we about to wrap this up. I was happy to have you here this week, especially because you're a promoter and it's been such a bad week for promoters. Like, in general, like, as for, like, the T. Carter situation and Moneybagg Yo, and, like, that shit opened my eyes so big. I'm like, damn, a motherfucker get $100,000 to just come fucking rap a song? You did? And then you ain't even rap the song. You basically rapping that bitch from your section. You ain't even got to get on stage for $100,000. And I'm like, damn, nobody see that side of that promotion shit when you spend $100,000 with a nigga and he don't perform. You know what I'm saying? Like, that situation was so crazy that I was like, damn, I was just thinking, and then I'm like, man, let's link up with SESS. You did, because I know you didn't have you ever had a situation that was similar to that?
I done had I done had Bag perform, but, we had the contract for a concert. Right. So, when I booked Bag in 2020 for Mardi Gras at the House of Blues, right. You know what I'm saying? And me and G Willie, we had linked up for the after party at Masquerade. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just was a super successful night. Like, right. We packed the club out or whatever. And, I done had situations where, you know what I'm saying, like me and Cali Oval, you know what I'm saying? Me and him went half on Yo Gotti, and it was a lot of money. Right. You heard me? A lot of money. One Christmas at the Culver Theater. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we spent like 100. Right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't charge 100, but like with the building and right. promotion, the sound, everything, we spent a little over 100. And Club Continental, where I'm at right now, the 7140, they was doing DJ Papa and Wild Wayne live on the radio. And we did it. It was Christmas on a Friday. Right. You know what I'm saying? We had booked Yo Gotti, and we pumping that bitch for like 2 months. And here come Club Continental
Christmas
every Friday.
with DJ Papa, $600
for
DJ.
free. But they look, it's everybody free till 12. You heard me?
Fucking y'all, 100 grand
yeah.
up.
So we took a whole beating.
God
you heard me?
Damn.
But we just paid the money, and it, it is what it is. And then you take a lick and keep on trucking. So like so that's the part of the game that the customers don't see. You heard me? The customers don't see, you know what I'm saying, like how much you spending on these artists, and you trying to get it back from them, being fans, but they always won't say, bring this one down, or bring that one down, or y'all don't gotta spend all the money. All you spending is your $30,
right.
$50 or whatever, and then they crying for the 50
right.
or whatever, but everybody won't suggest, like, man, so many people tag me in, different artists from around the world, like saying book them or whatever, but they not the ones who got to spend that bread and take that risk. You know what I'm saying? So it's just always a gamble. So that's what this business is. But regardless, like I done took several losses, but I done got a lot of wins. So it's about not quitting. Not stopping. Like, I love this industry. I love entertainment. Like, I don't have no job. Like, I've been at Nothing But Fire Records for 16 years at the store, but I started the business in 2002, man. Six Walt Puck. Rest in peace to my dude, Puck Young. So, like, I've been in this business for so long. Like, this what I love to do, and it's treat me good. Like, the people of New Orleans, the citizens around, the city and the state, like, they invest in me from when I was a backpack selling CD. Like, I wasn't a backpack rapper, but I was selling CDs out the book set. You know what I'm saying? And people buy my CD, 3-4 times just to support me. You know what I'm saying? So like I done got so much love in this city that the small hate, like I never pay attention to that. I never address the small people that hate me, because there's so many people that love what I do, from, the Katrina anniversary, Second Lines, just standing up, being a grown man, talking about the stuff that go on in this city, the violence, the culture of violence, trying to change it from growth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up wild, young, cutting up, and then I got second chances and third chances, and I was able to grow and see different perspectives. I was able to travel around the world and see how other people live. I was able to get some money over here, get some money over there, and start a family, raise kids and be a good uncle, nephew, role model, do some other stuff. So now being grown and being able to live and see past 40, I'm trying to make sure these other young people get to see past 20 and 30 and grow. That's all it's about, man. Development, life development, learning some stuff, being positive, being successful, and passing it forward.
Man, that's 4-5. I want to thank you, bro, because we've been long overdue.
Big facts.
And I feel like we could talk business and game. I feel like we could do that for hours, because I like to pick people's brain, and you're a person I've been around for a long time. And when you trying to pick your brain in the field, it just seems like you just be looking for it. Like you be like, you always be. You seem like you always on your head on a swivel when you out in the field. So it'd be hard to really pick your brain for real.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You might give a nigga a little Jedi.
Well, I be on the clock. I'm on the clock where I'm at. Like, I can't come to nobody's job and then pick their brain while they on their job. You heard me? So when I'm in promoter world or wherever, I gotta make sure all these customers right, the artists right, everything right, the money getting counted right. So you just gotta pay attention to all the other elements, because like I oversee a lot of stuff in a lot of different areas. And like I won't make sure everything go right. I'm a perfectionist, so I won't make sure everything go right. I won't make sure everything in place. Like I always believe in the customer is, always right. And so I try to make sure the service, that they getting is A1. You know what I'm saying? Because I like when people, smile when they spending money with me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? When a customer smiling, you know, they gonna always come back. But if they ain't, you know, if they got piss post service, you know, they ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I be tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? Holla at me from 8 to 5. Yeah, man. Yeah, let's get it.
The Successful 5, The Hustle God, episode 32, Benjamin's Room podcast, and we out.
Pushing that dope. My money up, my money up, my money up, up, way up there. My money up, my money up, my money up, up. I got my run, I got my run. Nigga moving that coke, I got my run, I got my run. Nigga pushing that dope. Real nigga with that bag talk. It's 20 flips then a pass off in a traffic jam with them grams. Young nigga getting that cash dog, and the foreign thing is pushing star. I'm leveling up straight over.